Hello. Um, I know I took a day off. The COVID fatigue is definitely getting to me. I think it's getting to my family. So I just wanted to speak a little bit on mindfulness during COVID. Mindfulness not only being a DBT technique, but is found, I think, across the board in most of your spiritual practices because it's a way of it's a way of like being in touch with your present moment. We talk about the old rhyme of the past being the past, and the future is a gift yet to come, and the present is kind of right here in the moment, and gosh knows we've seen them across certain companies movies. So this is like not anything I don't think that most people have not heard about in the day-to-day talk. The way that this particular one came about was that I was talking with a family member, and they were talking about how, oops, I went down the wrong lane in a store with their little arrows because I just don't know. This is so new, and I was making fun of them basically, like it's a great big green arrow on the floor. How can you miss it? And in the particular store she was talking about, I'm like, they have them on the end caps with big notes that say "Do not enter." How do you not know what that means? But the reality is that it's not that we don't know what they mean. It's that we are so on autopilot. We're into what we're doing. We are not being one with the moment. We're not being situationally aware. I know you've heard me talk about it before when I've mentioned about having practiced in different martial art aspects. A couple of the areas that I've studied, and that's something that that they teach, and especially with women, we talk a lot about situational awareness and being aware of where you are, what you're doing, who's around. Um, and as I joked on my other social media, this would be the time that my cat would like jump on me and totally disprove that theory of knowing who's around. Um, But on the bigger picture, I mean, this kind of goes beyond the irritation that you get when you're going down the correct way in your grocery mart and somebody is upset with you because they're trying to come down the wrong way and you're not moving out of the way because you're busy trying to be in accord with the things that the practices that we are trying to do within this COVID pandemic to keep everyone safe, to keep our loved ones safe. I talked about the mask yesterday. That was my little bit of event, which I had to make a little note about because my son disapproved of the way that I said y'all um, and you people or your people. I can't remember how I phrased it. So I put my apology on there for that. But the reality is that we all are in this together, and we keep hearing this over and over again on the television, on the radio. Um, so mindfulness is a way that we can show this because we can be in the moment. So when we're shopping, being in the moment, not getting on autopilot, because I know I do this. There are times where I want to get in, get out, and be done with it because my anxiety flares up when I'm in the stores and I get irritated by a lot of little things that I didn't used to get irritated about, and now I'm really irritated about them. So for my sake, I try to just get in, get it, and get out. And I have had to memorize floor layouts so that I know, okay, I know that the snake's in this direction, so I'm going to go up, down, over, to get to what I want, get done. Be patient for the people still picking out their stuff because they didn't know what they wanted to get when they went in, or they saw, like we all do, oh, there's a sale, let me stop and look. It is, I will say it is a little disconcerting in one store where about every 15 minutes you hear no loitering, please keep it moving. That's a little strange still for me to even tolerate or swallow, or however we want to phrase it. However, if we're mindful of what we're doing, we can hopefully get this new thing. I mean, this is not something abnormal. Abnormal. I have an abnormal brain for you. This is not something that is different and suddenly somehow has never ever happened in society. We study history. We know that we've moved from the the Dark Ages to the Renaissance to this to this to this, and at some point somebody was over there going, I am not comfortable with this, I have to change my ways. Oh my gosh, they're freaking out. And yet we've made it. We're sitting here in 2020 with our electronics and our voice video chats and so forth, and so we've made the change. And I know that it's going to be hard, and I really feel like if we hit mindfulness, because it is one of those core systems, practices of systems, I think once you can embrace that even just a little bit, you're going to find that your anxiety is going to go down, and things are going to be a little bit easier. So without getting anything too deep, I will say that, noticing your breath is by far your most effective mindfulness wake up call you can do for yourself. And to notice, am I breathing through my chest or am I breathing through my belly? If you have studied yoga or you go into those practices where they talk about belly breathing, hopefully you'll be familiar with the term. If not, quickest way to do it is to put one chest on your chest, one hand, not one chest. If you've got more than one, I want to see. Put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Just breathe like you normally do, in and out, right? If you are breathing and this hand up here is moving more, you are doing chest breathing. If your stomach is moving more, you're doing belly breathing, and that is a better, deeper breathing. It moves the diaphragm down. You get more air into your lungs. You're saturating your system with oxygen that your blood needs to get moving and getting things going right into the body. So that's the first way. And it's the first thing that you can do when you're in public. And like when I have like my little incidents where my anxiety starts to flare up, and I can tell because I start breathing up here real shallow, leads to hyperventilation if you're not keeping it under wraps. Notice where your breath is, because that's what you carry with you. You don't ever go away, right? We are oxygen breathers. If you're anaerobic, I want to know that too, because that's pretty cool. If you need to practice this, one thing that you can do is just lay down on your bed and put a bag of rice, a little 2-pound bag of rice on your belly, and just work it up and down. That was a thought that somebody gave me when I was first learning yoga and learning how to belly breathe. And you can do little things throughout your day to work on mindfulness. Maybe it's just being mindful of being engaged with the person you're at. So many of us walk around like this and we're not fully engaged with the person we're with. Engage with that person. Maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your child, maybe it's your dog, your cat, your television show. Stop the multitasking. We don't actually multitask, those that have studied that. We can do about 3 things at one time, but we're not really doing them at one time. We're just moving very quickly, simultaneously, from one to the next, the next, the next. We know, in fact, through studies that women's minds are geared for this more than men's minds. Women, we can wear multiple hats and we can play the shell game all day long, and we know exactly where everything is, right? Most men, very linear. I get one, I'm done. I got next one, I'm done. I got the next one, I'm done. It's not that one is better than the other. It's just the way that our brains work. So for women, sometimes it's a lot harder to learn mindfulness and learn meditation because our brains are so busy, because we have shuffled those hats around from mom to wife to maintenance person to this. I mean, women really do it all. Especially when they're parents and their mothers. And I'm not trying to say that anything is better than the other. I'm just saying what is, okay? And I'm really speaking more honestly to some of my mom friends, because I know that we're all going crazy with our kids locked up in our house with us. So being able to just enjoy that spot. Maybe it's your piece of chocolate that you have had hidden away, okay? Get somewhere, lock the children out, put your earphones on, not to have sound on though, okay? Just to muffle out the sound. Be one with that chocolate. Smell it, taste it, texture. Get those thoughts going about why is it I like this chocolate. In my other social media page, I shared the story about Spumoni ice cream. And I actually don't know how it's made. I don't know if it's a gelato or what it's made of. I just know it's really, really good. And my mom used to take me she went with a group of friends to the theater, and we used to go all the time and see different productions. And one of my favorite productions, because it's my favorite movie, it's my favorite character, favorite book, is Dracula. And we had gone out, and it was obviously the play gets done rather late, and I was getting tired, and they had served us our spumoni, and one of the helpers came to take our plates away, and I don't know what I thought, whether it was somebody trying to take my plate or what the heck it was, but I slapped at his hand, and its glass shattered everywhere. I was really embarrassed. But at the same time, Mr. Head Star Dracula looks up and looks over, and I'm a very young girl at this point, 15, I think I was about 15, 16 years old, and so I'm embarrassed. All these women are laughing, and I'm going, oh my God, please don't see me. And he went back to his own dinner and what have you, but that's my memory associated with that food. So that's what I mean about going through and being mindful just for a few minutes. What does this bring back for me? You know, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? And there, you can do this throughout your day, just being one with what you're doing instead of doing lots of things at once or trying to. Just saying, you know what, I'm gonna do the dishes, and that's all I'm gonna do. Or you know what, I am going to go for a walk, but I'm gonna just enjoy the walk. So you're observing, but you're not running through your mind. Okay, after that 4, I've got to do this. At 6, I have to do this. I need to buy this for this and that. This is a perfect time to practice this because we are working from home. We are self-quarantined. And even for those of you who aren't and you're our essential workers, this is even more so to help you and can be very helpful. Let me phrase it that way. This is going to be more helpful to you in this time when you're working those 12-hour, 14-hour shifts. You've got to be able to just let it all out. And so during that mindful time, being able to just be with whatever you're with instead of thinking about, okay, I've got X, Y, and Z on this side. So that's very short to the point. You can Google mindfulness. You can Google mindfulness activities. There's apps for mindfulness that you can put on your phone. I have a few of my own favorites that I use. I'm not going to do kind of dropping names and things. I would find something that works for you. Love you all. And I'll be back with another stream at some point.